The Poet Will Be Televised Christmas Special is back on the spotlight in partnership with the Teaching Artist Project. Our next guest performer is also a poet from Brooklyn, New York. Performing her poet pieces titled Dance and Dream of Birch, give it up for Libby Mislan.
When the sky has turned from pale to purple, and you're left on land translucent, stars see through you, your organs pumping blood, spirit tremoring, pump, tremor, pump, tremor. It's your alive that makes you love. It's your alive that makes you dance. You, liquid, stardust, glitter, or maybe you, silk, feathers, silly putty, or maybe you, onyx, sinew, sap, rubber spine, divine curvature, a curious overture to stand alone on a purple-skied night, dancing to expose you're alive. What are those little circles called that flit and float in the filtered light? You're a beautiful mystery, just like them. Work out the kinks before they become knots with form and minds of their own. Let them know you're an expert and they're not as serious as they think they are. You wiggle, wind, pulsate, or maybe you two-step, sway, sachet, or maybe you pound, dig, unearth with arms opening towards the sky again and again. Dance to shake off the crusties and step out the den. Dance to tap into your animal. Dance because it's been a while since you uncovered yourself with no help. Dance for the pain. Oh yes, it hurts sometimes, right? Dance until not even a glass of water will quench your thirst because it's beyond hydration. Dance until you have no affiliation with logic. Dance until life is just concentric circles. Dance until you don't know who to thank, God or yourself. Dance until you start thinking maybe they are one and the same. Under skies that move from pale to purple, keep dancing. Thank you. I'm going to move on to a second poem. It's called Dream of Birch, and it is about a collective dream for our society and our culture. Last night I read about Tir na Nog, a paradise in Celtic mythology, a heaven full of birch trees. And this morning I visited the birch forest. I pulled aside scraggly branches, making my way to the grove of white trees, skinny as fawns' legs. After a week of heavy rains, scrolls of bark covered the ground around the trees, and I collected the fragments hungrily, like prizes, as if they were train tickets to someplace else. Next to the grove, a small meadow of grasses buzzed so electric and green in the sunlight that my eyes blurred and my vision went dark. And here is where my Tir na Nog dream began. We were resting around those trees, all of us who call this city home, sleeping beneath the birches, so small our beds were the mosses, the birth swaths, the fallen leaves. No one could see or touch those of us who were being preyed on. And Sappho's whispers swirled through the grove, curling around our ears. May you sleep on the breast of your delicate friend. And in our slumber, we moved closer and closer in until every body touched another body like a daisy chain. And when we had rested enough for hundreds of years, we awoke, and the red-winged blackbirds were peering down at us as we opened our eyes. And we were only ever in circles, and those who had been most wronged had their stories heard, and those who were most insecure, their songs applauded, and those who had inflicted harm acknowledged the hurt and carved into the bark their promises of integrity, and those who were most angry had their hair stroked by a lover, and the clapping from our small hands sounded from afar like raindrops falling on leaves. And we weaved dances like garlands around the birch's skinny trunks, and cries from our bellies spiraled their way up the trees and floated up to the clouds and fell back down to the soil in a storm that cleaned us bone deep. And nothing was between us, not what we were taught about each other, not our memories, not our fear. And when I opened my eyes, Clutching the white bark, I remembered the work that was left to be done, and I remembered why we dream. Thank you.
And give it up for Libby Mislan. Yes! You did amazing, yes.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back with a Christmas special treat. Give us a moment.
Awesome.